Connect everybody so you can read, comment, share videos. Now I gotta go back to Zoom. You gonna flip back? Obviously not.
Yeah. It shouldn't have went away.
What am I doing? We'll go back to Zoom.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. If you, go get that. It just scroll down. It should. I mean, from the top of the screen. There you go. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's
done. I hope done means it feels ready.
Oh, yeah, no, it's still going.
Content was needed. Third party. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. Good enough for you. Yes, indeed. Only enough for the needy.
Okay, come on. This shouldn't even take this long to load up. Jeez. Okay, let's see. Hopefully. All right, let's see. See if it goes. Okay. Watch this.
Wait. Watch this. Try it again. Try it again. Huh? Still doing it?
Yeah.
Hey. Let's go.
Real. Yeah, you can go with phone. Yeah, let me see your phone real quick.
Cause he got Zoom on it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I didn't see the Zoom up though. Then I just restarted it, so I don't know why the feedback is happening like that.
Cause he got Zoom on there. He never had Zoom before. So maybe you never was able to see everybody else other than across the room. Which is all right. That one too. Oh, you gotta turn that one off though.
Nah, that's off already.
Oh, it is?
Well, I don't know what's going on today. I don't know where the feedback coming from. I have no idea what's going on.
Good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The speaker working, huh?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2. Maybe they're too close.
Nah, I don't know what that is.
Everything in the same position for the last 30 years. Hey, we get ready to crank, y'all. Everybody there?
Yeah.
Heck, man.
I hope everybody there.
Check. You just.
Everybody that's
Never know.
anybody gonna be somebody. That's how we gonna go.
All right, y'all. We live. Y'all know how we do this thing. Every Sunday from 6 to 8, we bring you Northwest Austin Council. Today we have some technical issues, so we're gonna try to bring Arnold in as the show progresses. But right now, we keep getting a lot of feedback.
I obviously was like, okay, you know.
Not fair. I'm not certain what's going on, but I do my job to figure it out. Anyway, whole lot going on. Just leaving my baby's party. My baby will be 4 tomorrow. She was born 3/4. She'll be 4, golden birthday. We believe in that type of thing. But just happy that I'm a father and I get to spend some time with my baby. I don't know if y'all seen the Austin Weekly report that dropped. Well, the article that dropped about my belief that police reform can happen. But if you haven't, you should check that out. Just a little bit about my background and my family, but also some information about police reform in Chicago and how necessary it is and what we're trying to do to achieve it. But beyond that, we got a lot to talk about, man. Y'all know how we do it. The West Side, people talk about the West Side thing. And there's various ways you can interact with the show, the Facebook, the YouTube, or the Zoom, all of them twerking. Whichever one you want to be a part of, that's how you can communicate with the show. So if you're on that Facebook or that YouTube, throw a comment up. We'll see it. We'll bring you in the show that way. And if you're on Zoom, you're writing the show. Just come off mute and speak your speech, if you will. Other than that, man, y'all know how I like to start. Pastor Steve, say what you got going on, Steve.
Oh, man. Well, today, let's start with the week. It's been a busy week for the congressman. He's got many endorsements. He was endorsed by Governor Pritzker. He was endorsed by several aldermen. Alderman from the Chinatown, I forgot her name. She was one.
Nicole Lee. Is that it?
Yeah. And several others from City Council endorsed him. And he was also endorsed by Don Harmon, which is the Senate Majority Leader, endorsed by Mill Lilly and Sean Ford, West Side State Reps. And if I'm not mistaken, will probably soon be endorsed by Chris Welch, Speaker of the House. But I say all that to say this because the congressman is moving. He's moving all over the place. Just within the last 48 hours, I know for sure he's had at least 7 events. And I was at 3 of them. So how he's actually manages to do all of that, hey, got a lot of energy. That's all I can say. Friday, there was a, what would you call it, fundraising. You can't call it anything other than that. It was a fundraising event with the ministers. And I want to say there were at least 30 ministers that hosted.
Nice.
Over at, what's the name of the church? You know the name of that church? No. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second, in a minute. 4658 West Market. I don't know the name of the church, but nevertheless, really nice banquet hall. I'm sure they rent it out. Very, very nice setup. But all in all, he had ministers from every faith that you can think of, and from all over the city, the globe, and everywhere else. He had a minister from, he had a Ukrainian Orthodox minister there. He had the Catholic priest there. He had Liman. He had some, what is it, Muslim belief. He had a bunch of Baptist ministers. There was someone else. A couple of, I don't know what denomination they were from. Uganda. Yeah, Uganda ministers. Yeah, ministers are from all over that kind of hosted this fundraiser, and they spoke highly of him. Approximately about 200 people, maybe 250 in the room, and it was a pretty good night. I know the next day, Congressman had an event. I think it was with Deborah Williams, and I don't know the group that did it, but they had a cowboy night.
Someone was detected at your front door outside.
And I guess that went very well. And then what else did he do, Arnold? Yeah, he had another event. Yeah, his schedule is generally 12 events every day almost. I can believe that. Meetings and fundraisers and town halls. Right. I can believe that. He actually, gotta get you in here, Arnold. Gotta get you on. He actually had another event, which was today, meet and greet at the Oak Park Library. And that was at 3 o'clock. And approximately, 25 people probably were there. But it's just so strange to me how everyone sees their issue as it's only my problem. It's my problem. And nobody has this problem but me. And I'm gonna correct it. There happened to be a lady that was there. She just felt that the issues with the migrants and the immigrants and the illegals, whatever we calling them, I don't know what we call them. That was just the problem that she had, and several people, were trying to talk to her about it, but she wanted to scream and yell and shout inside the library. And others were trying to say to her, hey, you have a right, but you really kind of impeding on everybody else's rights right now, because we are in the library and you're talking very loud and screaming about the government should set the law, about the border. And one individual was telling me the government did set the laws. They are setting the laws. And this is why we are where we're at. And I just kind of stood on the side of her while these other 3-4 individuals were kind of, jumping in her face. And I said to her, I said to all of them, I said, you know what? She's absolutely right. The government makes the laws. And I said, but who's the government? I asked the lady, I said, who is the government? And she said, she pointed at Danny Davis, him. I'm like, yeah, he's part of it. But I said, it's we the people. It's the people that create the government. I said, we are the ones that's behind it all. And I asked her, I said, well, let me ask you something, ma'am. Did you vote? She said, I said, did you vote? Yeah, I vote. I tried it when she had an accent, And I'm like, okay, you voted. Took you a long time to say that, but, I don't believe you. And I said, but ma'am, if you don't like the people you voted for, you need to get somebody in there that you can vote, that you like. And the only way you're going to do that is get out there and hit them streets and build you some constituents that won't vote the way you want. I mean, it's win or lose. There ain't no win, lose, and draw. I mean, it only happens every, most political seats only last, 2 years, 4 years? And there's an election, right?
Yeah, about every 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, in between
election every about 6 months.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying most positions last 2 years, and then there's elections, then there's others that last 4 years. No more than that. There's no 6 years.
2, 4, and 6.
We got 6. Who's the 6 years? Senators are 6. Wow.
2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
And then obviously lifetime in Supreme Court. Judges are also 6 years too.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean,
so 2, 4, 6, and lifetime.
But my point is,
the general.
We ain't got we don't have no control over the lifetime. We don't vote for them. We vote for Supreme Court.
I mean, we vote for the committeemen that vote for the Supreme Court.
Well, then that's what, 2 years, 4 years, 2 years.
The committeemen every 4 years.
Every 4. So
Yeah.
then that's what she needs to be looking at in that case. But my point again is, why are you crying and pointing out people and trying to say they're at fault when you just gotta wait your turn. Wait 4 more years. Wait 2 more years. Wait 6 more years. If you ain't got that much time, then find a corner you're gonna die in and die in it. I'm serious. I mean, you ain't the only one got problems. You ain't the only one that had to go through not winning. You know, the person you wanted, it's a win and lose. That's how it works. It's nothing else, nothing more. But to sit there and just impede on everybody else's, life and take away their liberty, that's a lot of garbage, And she didn't like what I was saying, and I said, hey man, her husband was there. He was like, come get your wife, man. Because she up here causing chaos in the library. And the congressman turned his back and started talking to the people. Me personally, I don't think I would turn my back on nobody that, just shouting belligerently and, irate. But, guess he's been in this game longer than most, so he understands. That's more of a threat than anything. But yeah, I find that to be the craziest thing. Everybody wants it what they want when they want it, and they want it their way. But they don't realize we're in a country of 330 million plus?
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have it the way one individual says. I don't get it. Any comments? Any comments? Anybody? Arnold gonna get it in. I know he got something. I'll give him 1 second. Did anybody hear me? Let's talk about that. I don't think anybody heard me.
No, I'm listening to you saying the lady was complaining about so she raised the question on, was she for immigration or against immigration?
She was against. She said the government, they need to create the law to stop this. And then one of the other people in there said, there is a law that stops this. And this law is saying this is okay right now.
What we should have said is that right now, immigration is like an issue that's a tennis ball that's being served back and forth between the parties. That's what the problem is, because some would say that the Republicans had a how you call it?
Majority? Bill?
Yeah, a bill for the border, a border bill, HR 2, at roughly about last year, maybe even 2 years ago or something like that, could be off on the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't passed. And then now we're saying, with having Democratic president, that the Republicans refuse to pass. But the problem is, which people don't be understanding, is that when they write these bills, they fill them with so much fluff of stuff that don't even need to be in there, that you have to take concessions to decide, okay, I'm okay with that or I'm not okay. So that's what we face now. And then of course, Biden is saying he doesn't have presidential authority to pass a border bill. So
okay, hold on. So let me chime in on that. Biden is he's a freaking liar. He's a liar. He's a liberal liar, a leftist separatist liar. The president does have the power to stop people from flooding the border if it's not in the interest of America. He clearly sees this is not in the interest of America. But see, the game that they're playing, they want they know black people waking up, and they know black people are asking for reparations. That's number one. They know that. They see that. And also, they know that we ask for reparations. They know a lot of black people are leaving the left, the Democratic Party, and they're leaving the liberal plantation. And so the problem is they're flooding with immigrants because they know the immigrants are going to be the ones voting for them. Biden 100% can stop these illegals from coming in, but he doesn't want to. He
Someone
doesn't
was
want to.
detected at your front
It's
door
not in his
outside.
economic. It's not in his political strength. He's making it so the Democrats can rule. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Not all Democrats are bad. You know, some of the policies that Democrats implement aren't good. But I mean, you know, this is not the Democrats of the 90s or the 80s where it's just gotten worse. So that's the problem.
Well, you do know that Trump was a Democrat.
You do know that Trump don't like immigrants.
But why he married one and bring her people over here?
I mean, again, it's okay to marry some. It's not all immigrants are bad. But let me tell you something. You see what's going on in New York. You see that your people, Steve, your people, black people, are being hurt. I can never make an excuse for my people being hurt. That woman was upset. She was mad, and she over there asking why. She been voting Democrat all her life, and the Democrats done turned their back on her. That's why that sister was mad. She had the right to yell and scream and get them people up there told. You know, you get them people told because they're not listening to. And she should just stop voting Democrat.
Well, I'm not clear what party she was. I'm not clear on that.
She 100% was a Democrat. Because if she wasn't and if she voted the right way, this wouldn't be an issue. When you vote left, you're gonna get Democrat outcomes.
Well, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I knew she was an immigrant.
No, it is.
Because her language didn't sound like a straight up old Parker. I mean, she's talking with an accent. And I was like, wow, you in here talking about people at the border? What border did you come in on? You know, then somebody said, well, her husband, you know, he got right there. He married her and got her. Oh, okay, so she got a ride, huh? And now she don't want to make sure nobody else get a ride. Oh, okay.
Well, you know, they're calling this the Great Replacement. They're saying this immigration is happening because, as Mosaic was saying, black folks are starting to look at different parties and opportunities and options outside of just the Democratic Party. So some theorize that this immigration movement is so that the Democratic Party can continue to have people to support them. Like I said, I just look at it as what it is. Both parties are a brand. They market a certain way, and just like any business, you have to change with the times. So if they're feeling like the support of the black community is starting to wane, they're gonna have to replace their votes.
Maybe I forgot to tell y'all, the woman was white, and so was her husband.
That make it even more worse because white people typically like immigrants. Most of the white people like the immigrants, but these are the ones that's been voting liberal, voting left all their life, and then they flooded. Like, I don't know. I understand the lady's frustration.
I know. I couldn't figure it out either, but I just knew when she was going at it, I was like, you came in this meet and greet to do this? I'm like, man, what about everybody else in here? What if we start shouting and act crazy?
Well, ain't no different than the black man that came to the meeting at Emma's spot and was acting a fool in there.
Yeah,
you know, he was upset because his home had gotten flooded, you know, and he contacted FEMA. I believe he said he did the right thing and filled out to try to get his comeuppance from FEMA, and then maybe it wasn't enough, and so I do recall him saying that he didn't reapply, you know, but he was going off in there too. So this is a volatile time for people emotionally because there's just a lot of things that are happening that are almost unexplained, and then when they do try to explain them to you, they leave you feeling like you the fool.
You know what? I'm gonna call this period the wet pamper period. Everybody out here wetting their own pamper and crying because it's wet. Take it off of me! Take it off me! Quit wetting your pamper. I'm serious. It's like everybody got problems. Everybody got issues, but you ain't the only one and you think you're gonna stop it because you got the biggest problem? Come on now. We all forgetting where we at. We in the same country, on the same continent, with the same crazy folks. Period. And we gotta figure out how we're gonna make it work. That's all to it. But to sit there and cause chaos for everybody else, like DeAndre said, young man came in to meet, he came in the door with his hands in his pockets and start talking, man. Just start talking over everybody. And I'm like, man, if this guy got a gun in his pocket, I swear to God, I'm a cold cocker from the right. Because he had his hand in his left pocket and he wasn't looking my way. And well, fortunately, police commanders and everybody was in there, but they wasn't trying to get in it because they knew the guy was trying to draw me in. So I asked him, I said, hey man, you want to sit down? No, I don't want to sit down. Some older couple asked this young man, hey, could you let us speak and then you have to, I'm speaking for you. The immigrant, how you doing? I don't want to talk to you. My auntie ran against you. Anything you said, that man had a rebuttal to it. So all of the panel, which happened to be all white people, they got quiet and scared. There was about 6 of them up there. Yeah. They got scared.
He was a black dude?
Yeah, man. Then he finally came over there with me and DeAndre in Princeton City. And then I kind of like, hey man, take my seat. He sat down. And DeAndre said, man, get this man some food. Give him some chicken. He had said he didn't want no, I don't want no food, all that. Anything we said.
Chicken calm everybody down.
Right. Then
that was that MacArthur.
Man, I would have kicked him out, man. See, I would have kicked that man out.
You wasn't doing that night. Because you would have kicked him out, you would have to take him straight to jail. Because you would have kicked him outside them doors, he would have been banging on that glass. He would have been problems outside that door.
Oh yeah. I'm considered carry. When that hawk on him, he gonna behave. He's going to behave. I'm pulling out.
But we weren't trying to escalate. That's the whole point. The police weren't trying to escalate. We weren't trying to escalate. People in there just wanted to get their meeting, go through with their meeting. But nevertheless, finally he sits down and I start talking, hey man, you got kids, man? He's like, yeah, I got 3, 4 kids, this now. I'm like, yeah. I said, man, you working it? No, man, I need to stop. Okay, good. Let's talk about that. So now the people can carry on with their meeting while I'm kind of talking to them to the side. And he's like, what I said, man, give me your name and number. He said, you want my address? No, just give me your name and number, man. He's like, oh, yeah, man, I do need a job. And he gave his name and number. Then Princess was sitting down there. She threw some old lady charm on him, grabbed him by the leg, by the knee, and said, hey, look, let me talk to you, brother. It's never. I mean, the man was so disruptive, man. He just stopped everything. Then he said to us, the 3 of us, me, DeAndre, and Princess sitting in the back, man, you ever went to court and then they gave you a warrant in the court? I'm like, what? That ain't supposed to happen these days. I'm like, bro, you have. He said, then he told me, what he say? Man, I'm drunk, man.
Oh, did he?
You didn't smell alcohol on? Oh, you didn't get that.
I seen his eyes was red and everything.
Man, I smelled the alcohol on him with the alcohol. He said, man, I'm drunk. I'm a little drunk. Little drunk, bro. You walk in here just straight off the street clown. But people are feeling some kind of way about everything, but they don't realize they ain't the only one in that boat. And I get it. When you drowning, you don't care about the next man drowning. You just want to be saved. But the problem is, everybody around you drowning. Until you all look around and say, maybe if we create a chain, we might be able to get to the shoreline. Or maybe if we calm one of us down, he might be able to get to the boat and pull the boat up for all of us. But that ain't how it works. Everybody want what they want when they want it. They don't give a damn about nobody else. And that's the thing that makes me upset. When everybody whining and crying, and I'm sitting patient with the biggest problem ever. I ain't doing that.
Well,
yeah, but you know what? When people are betrayed by the people they've been voting for, they are going to be angry. When you betray the people that you voted for, it's a lot of people. Now, Brandon Johnson, that is my brother, and I love my brother. But I will have to say, this immigrant letting these migrants come through, they don't like that, and he knows goddamn well black people didn't vote for him for that. They did not vote for him for that. He know that. And to play politics like black people stupid, you feel me, is just a spit in the face. It's disgusting.
Well, You said it, politics. So let's be clear on what the term really means. Politics really means how you like me and how you like me now. And that changes with the wind. I mean, again, look at all these Southerners that all of a sudden decided to like a big, fat, orange Yankee. Why did they like this big, fat, orange Yankee? All of a sudden, Southern people don't get down with people from the North. They'll tell you in a minute. We don't like your ways. We don't like the way the way you think. And we sure don't want you to stay around us. And they make it clear. But as soon as they found somebody that was an ally of theirs, because what they say, an enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine. And all he talked about was, I remember when Trump said they're what he said, they're rapists and they're something else. They're rapists and they're murderers. He called all Hispanic people rapists and murderers. And then all the white people down south, they say, yay! We found our best friend, the enemy that we don't like, a Yankee. And I knew it because the first stop on his tour was my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. In sweltering 100 and something heat. Those people piled up at, I think it was, they call it, not Hank Aaron Field, but Jackie Robinson Field down there. And they were standing in lines, and I'm like, man, these people don't like Northerners. I know this. And they accepted this. I said, oh, the fix is on. And that's the way it's been ever since. Everybody feels they can complain about every little thing, but everybody else doing the right. Everybody else feel they doing the right thing. Everybody feel they doing the right thing. You know what Congressman said today? He said, you know what? If I see a person out there in the street got hit by a car, I feel that it's my duty to help that person. I don't care if they're an immigrant. I don't care if they're a resident or whatever. I feel it's my duty to help that person because it's the humane thing to do. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I would hope somebody would do that for me. You know, not care who I am, not care that I'm a shade lighter than Mosaic, and would possibly help me. But some people, they might say they might see Mosaic and say, man, he a dark-skinned black dude. I ain't helping him.
Yeah, he got that Hulk on him too. I'm cool. But
right.
people
come out of a bag on you, man, and then you sitting there needing help, and they'll just be like, you know, but you would hope people wouldn't look at things like that. But now we've gone to a point in our politics, our lives, where it's all predicated around them and us, them and me. It's against me, it's them, and them me, you know. Ain't nobody, what happened to America? What happened to it? What happened to a time where black people wanted to assimilate so bad into the American fiber, knowing that we couldn't because of the color of our skin, we gonna always stick out, that we still strided for this. Let me join the military. Sign me up. I'll die for this country. I'll be on the front line. Drop me out of an airplane with no parachute. I'll be a Tuskegee Airman. I don't need no parachute. Black people were signing up to fight for this country since the Civil War.
Yeah. Like fools.
Like fools. Because we wanted the respect. We wanted to simulate. We wanted what we thought was the American way. But now, everybody is like, that's them and it's me. Ain't no more of trying to be together. I don't even hear that. Only time we come together when there's tragedy.
Yep. And that only lasts for so long.
You should have seen, I mean, you was in high school back when 9/11 happened.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, when it happened, man, you should have seen them white folks at work. They was all looking at me. What we gonna do? Say, what we gonna do? They coming to get your asses. They ain't coming to get me. Yeah, I'm an American too. But guess who on the top of the pecking list they're trying to kill?
They said during 9/11, everybody was together.
I'm telling you, I've seen it.
I've seen it in a couple of cases. American sentiment. Everybody.
Yeah, the gangster disciples in my neighborhood, they beat up every Arab in every store, every Arab in the square miles Rogers Park, Edgewater, Lakeview. They got a whooping. Yes, they did. Everybody came together and said, "No, you ain't gonna do this no more." They beat every Arab up.
But was that the right thing to do?
I mean, they came together, Steve. It was all about coming together, and they came together and they beat. Now it might not have been the right thing, but you know, they showed togetherness.
I don't know if that would have been my charge for them to do. Because they could have got
no, not us, but that's what they did though.
I always thought they would have laid back and said, "This ain't my fight," but they had their own little beef going on for them to come out and do that.
Yeah, because the government villainized every Arab. We can't say, oh, they shouldn't have did. The government villainized all Arabs around that time. Every Arab was villainized around that time.
Government, it wasn't the government, it was one particular person, George Bush. That said, they tried to get my daddy. What's your daddy got to do with any of this? That your dad was president 8 to 12 years back.
They tried to kill him. They tried to kill his father.
I never knew about that. Maybe it was something that happened that didn't tell the American people. But hey, all I know is
trying to kill his daddy.
All I know is we got every type of person in America. So to sit there and start picking out people and saying this one ain't that one, I mean, come on, man. That's a hard thing to do. This America. We got all types of people, all types of religions, all types of cultures, what have you. But sit there and just go, we gonna get Arabs. I mean, what kind of Arabs? Is it just Arabs from the Middle East? Is it European Arabs? Is it Arabs down in Central America? Or is it just Muslims? Because all people all Arabs are not Muslims, and not all Muslims are Arabs. So, when people take stuff in their own hands, I'm gonna go back to that lady again, because she just rolled on it. And man, you should have seen Barry. Barry got all in her face. You sit down. Barry got crazy. I'm like, whoa, bro.
What? Okay, Barry.
I thought Barry was
I like that.
Come on, man.
Barry, an old pimp.
Barry about 2 inches from smacking her, man.
Oh, man, come on. What the heck?
I said, whoa,
that's
boy.
Hey, he from New York. That cat don't play.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you the real truth.
Oh, man.
There was so many people around her, I felt bad for the lady, because I was like, man, they
Frankie Bonds, please. Yeah,
she was outnumbered, boy. But she brought it on herself, but I'm like, still, you bring it on yourself. This ain't good for America, because the stuff that y'all arguing about, believe me, it's part of the plan. It's really part of the plan, and nobody wants to recognize and believe it. Think about this. You working, right, Mosaic?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about how many young people between the ages of 20 and 35, say 35, are working that you know of.
I don't really know too many 20-year-olds no more. I'm old, Steve.
That want to be honest, any of them that want to.
But I'm saying that they want to. That's what
that want to.
You just said want. Yep. We want to know how many are actually working.
You can do whatever you want to in this world. You want to.
You know what? I think there's more working young people than working older people.
It should be.
Yeah, there definitely is, because the baby boomer generation is retiring. So the Gen X, and then after that, millennials. And the millennials make up the largest
it should be
part of the workforce now.
Yeah, I think we're working. I think the young folks are the one carrying the country right now.
Now, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it depends on which ones we're talking about, though. Because if we're talking about the ones right up under us, Gen Z, they are not too apt to working the same way that we were.
That's why I said young people in general. I'm not like group. I'm not right.
Yeah, I'm saying
Really?
like with young, you consider us young people too.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
Right, wait, no, I'm just making sure. All right. I mean, I consider myself a young people too. Shit.
Can I be a millennial, most thing?
Come on through.
All you gotta do is get a talk in the face tattoo, and you in with us.
I consider myself a young person too.
That's what's up, Barry, man. MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar.
Hey.
Barry got a biological age of like 60. That's all that bouncing on that trampoline. All.
Hey, all I'm saying is, man, when it comes down to the issues, it's too much of this. It's them and us and them. I'm like, man.
It's always been like that, though.
And it's gonna always be like that to the end of time too. You ain't gonna change it. You ain't gonna change it.
Never change. It's gonna always be us versus
Human nature. You gotta go back. You'd have to change human nature from the core for people to get together. Ain't nowhere in the animal kingdom is there together. Everybody fights.
I'm gonna tell you a little thing. Back 50 years ago, maybe even 60, black people had a fight, but they shut the hell up because you know why? They ain't have no rights. And they couldn't fight. All they could do was shut the hell up and take what was given to them. Now we can talk, and we talk about dumb shit. We talk about stuff we can't move the needle on. It's like,
that's because white people cold, man. They're the one, they tricked us. They tricked us to working for free. Then they tricked us to want to integrate with them. And now they still tricking us by by playing the music we listen to, the movies that we watch, the food that we eat, and everything that we purchase and consume.
wait a minute, you talking about
And then-
The white man is a devil, goddammit, and he is living amongst us.
They didn't trick us to integrate with us. They had sex with the slaves and they made us who we are. You have to realize that. You have to
We talking about the civil
realize.
rights movement. No, we talking about civil rights.
No,
Right.
let's take it back to what it really is. I mean, come on now. I can almost guarantee you, 90% of the black people in America got white blood in them.
Not me.
We got some.
I got 90%, 96% Nigerian and 4% Middle Eastern. A real black man.
Middle East. Where that part?
Yeah.
from?
You know,
I'm just saying.
you know, they captured us at once upon a time.
Well, so you part of the 10% thing. No, we ain't count you. But I'm talking about the ones that.
Yeah, I'm from Egypt.
White people knew how to, they weren't going to spend no more money on slaves. They say, it's easy to go back in that shed and make people slaves. I'm going to spend money on this for.
That's fact.
Why? I got to go down to the auction. Why need to go to the auction block? I'm tired of this. Walking down there. And it happened. Don't even pretend that didn't happen more than often. The guy bought 10 slaves, he ended up with 100. How you get 100 when you just bought 10?
No, that happened.
Okay,
Right,
so
right,
it
yeah.
is what it is. So we got to understand that we are integrated into the system. Now let's go back to another thing. When we talk about indigenous, everybody want to be the indigenous people. Oh, they're the indigenous people of America. Oh, they're the indigenous people of Australia because they're the Aboriginals. They're the indigenous. Man, the only indigenous people on this planet are black people, and they came from Africa, which wasn't really called Africa then. Everybody came. That's the word indigenous literally means that. Everybody else migrated to where they're at.
The black man was the first man.
Yeah, I mean,
That's Lord.
that's literally, that's what the word indigenous means. You know,
And,
everybody
I mean, it's a slap in the face to us because we let white people take it over. Like, what's the point of wanting to be the first when you last now?
well, you know why we laugh? because people got into people's head to make them think that they're inferior and make them think that the only way is the right way.
It wasn't no people, white people.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
White people are the biggest parasite on the face of the planet. They're the ones that have torn down everything. God's beautiful creation was torn down by the white man. Period.
Wait, hold on. Nuh-uh. I'm not gonna let you talk about my white people like that now. You slow down, sir. Because black people, I like white people. White people are very smart. They're very nice. They're very kind for the most part. A lot of us black people, we not nice. We not kind. Look at that man that Steve was just talking about, acting a fool up in that place. Look at the west side of Chicago. Look at the west side. It's terrible. Look at the south side. Look at the crime rate. We could blame white people all we want, but the last line of defense is accountability. And when a black man kills another black man, when a black woman go and have an abortion, because black women lead in abortions in America, it's statistically proven. You can't blame that on white people. You gotta blame that on black people. Black people doing that. You can't say, well, because of yesteryears, black people are exterminating each other, not white people. I work around white people. They live in harmony. They are nice people.
No. We talked about the abortion last time. You can't blame black people on that. I told you, it's the women that fall for these stupid black guys that they know ain't gonna do what they need to do. Now, who's stupid in that?
So you don't want to blame the women, but you want to blame the black man.
No, I didn't say. You hear what I said? I said it's the women that fall for their situation with these stupid black guys that they ain't gonna do what they need to do. Now,
that ain't it. That ain't it, Steve. These women, what it is, it's the feminist movement. And like DeAndre told me, we are living in the most female-empowered time of our life. Female feel so empowered that they feel like they don't need a man. So that's why they do these things. These women want to party now, Steve. These women want to be free. They don't want to be locked down to a man. Have to have responsibilities. Have to have the house clean, cook. You know, she can work. She ain't got to just cook. The man can cook too. I ain't just saying be a totalitarian. She ain't got no rights, but women do not want to. The gender roles has changed. Women do not want to be wives anymore.
So whose fault is it that they have an abortion? Is women?
The person who went to the abortion clinic and decided to get it. That's who you blame.
So why is it?
Because you're the one did it.
Why does the guy have any ability? Why does he have?
Because he has no right. He has no right to say, you know what? Don't get the abortion. If he say don't get it, and she say I want to get it, she still gonna get it. He has no jurisdiction. That's these liberal laws. Republicans don't play that abortion shit. Republicans do not play that. That's why blacks need to go back to conservatism.
That's not true.
Drake, come on, help me out, man.
Because you need to talk to your Nikki Haley. Your Nikki Haley ain't saying that.
Oh, I don't like Nikki Haley. And I don't think a woman should be president. I'm old school, Steve. I'm sorry. I don't believe in a woman being the president.
When you on a slave ship, you ain't got no choice who gonna go overboard and who gonna make it to shore. When you part of that ship, you on the bottom of that ship, you rolling how they roll. Don't sit here and try to divide yourself from the Republicans now. Nikki Haley, I heard her. I don't even know what to say.
She ain't gonna win, bro. Don't nobody care about Nikki Haley. It's gonna be Trump and Biden. She's just a distraction.
Your buddy, let's just say for the sake of the argument, your buddy Trump, he got 91 counts against him. 91. Now, if you had 91 counts against you, where would you be?
I mean, you gotta understand, we got taken over by white people. Of course I'll be under the jail. We don't make up enough percentage for us to even have that fight. But again, Donald Trump is a businessman too, though. Donald
I don't
Trump,
know.
look at Diddy. Look what happened with Diddy. Diddy paid all the millions. Now, what if it happened to me? And let's say I did the things Diddy did or was accused of. I wouldn't have the money. So if you got money, you build you a business. Oh, you can fight all the charges off.
So so what you're saying is money makes you immoral. It's okay to be immoral as long as you got money. It's okay to treat people like crap if you got money. It's okay to hurt people because you got money. That's what you're saying.
I know people who hurt people who ain't got. Most people who hurt me didn't have nothing, Steve. People with money don't hurt people.
But if you got money, it's okay. You can get away with it. That's what you're saying.
No, they ain't getting away with it. They putting bogus charges on him. He hasn't been charged for the insurrection. They said the stuff that he did doesn't even comply with the insurrection laws. They say he was a Russian propagandist. He has no ties to Russia. That's Joe Biden who got ties to Ukraine. His brother was doing cocaine. Y'all don't say nothing about that.
Well,
y'all don't say nothing about Joe Biden's son being doing cocaine and crack and having prostitutes go over borders and soliciting prostitution, sex trafficking, and that's the president's son.
I'm saying the president admitted to doing those things, and y'all still like him as a rapist. He admitted it. The man said, okay, and she was a prostitute. Okay, well, you president. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, I don't remember that. You gotta source that. You gotta source up. You gotta send me the source where he admitted I raped somebody.
Stormy Daniels went to court several times and won against the guy. Then he made her disappear. Then he made her lawyer disappear. I mean, the guy.
No, he settled. No, I think he settled, Steve. I think he settled.
Why do you think he settled? He settled
Because it's cheaper to settle.
It is cheaper to settle.
It's cheaper. That's business 101.
It was cheaper to buy a $3 whore. That's what he's doing. That's who you want for your president. I get it.
All men done bought them a woman.
Why you buying $3 whores? Tell me that.
No. $4, not $3. $4. Everybody spend money on that. Every man on here on this call done did it. We can't point the finger at him. Every man done did it. Every man been doing it since the beginning of time. Come on now.
What they call it, the oldest profession?
It's the oldest profession. And if we the number one, like you said, Steve, everybody come from us, then we started homosexuality, we started prostitution, we started it all if we number one. Come on now.
We got a question that came up. Does anyone know where things stand with the Bring Chicago Home initiative? And do you support it? Is it an effective approach to homelessness? Y'all familiar with Bring Chicago Home? So basically, by another word is called the real estate transfer tax, whereby when a piece of property is transferred, especially if it's over $1 million, 1%, or no, what they say? They said 2% of the cost or the tax, there will be an additional 2% tax on that building purchase. And those funds would then go into a pot to be used for homelessness and the creation of programs and other supports, including affordable care housing. Affordable housing. I'm sorry. So that's what it is, man. It's gonna be. It was supposed to be on the ballot for March 19th, but the coalition of real estate owners got together and squashed it. And right now they're saying it's still on the ballot, but even the votes that have already been tallied probably won't count.
Well, you gotta think about it though, bro. That's so disrespectful for this. This is why I'm so sick of this country and these laws. You're gonna charge entrepreneurs, homeowners, landowners to pay for the poor, but you take money and you send it to Ukraine. You send it to Israel. Like that's like, don't take my money. Take the money that you give out to these people. All of the money they gave to these countries. We don't got nothing to do with Ukraine and Russia. Those are Europeans. Let Europeans fight each other. That has nothing to do with us. And you want to charge people for selling their home?
Mosaic, that's why you are not a politician. You made a good point about Ukraine. So you pay an extra $100 a year in your taxes to send money to Ukraine. So guess what? Would you rather send your brother and your sister over there to fight? Because that's what's gonna happen. Guaranteed.
No, it ain't.
Want to bet?
No. Yeah, we could bet. They not. You know who's finna be the president? Trump is not putting us on the ground over there. He's not putting us on the ground.
Listen to me.
And Putin already said, I'm sending 8 to 9 nukes over here if I see a NATO soldier on that Ukraine border. If I see a Ukraine soldier, I'm going to blow you down.
Listen to me. Trump, if he lasts past the 3 cheeseburgers he eats the next week, he ain't going to be the president for more than 4 years at that. So how long you plan on living? Because you got to think beyond fat, boy. You got to think beyond that.
Well, think about it. We were in no wars. You was more safer under Trump than you is Biden. We in several wars right now. We were in no wars under Trump. This is a fact, Steve.
Who started the war in the Middle East?
Bush.
Republican.
Oh no, okay, you want to do that? Let's go back to the Desert Storm. Come on, that was Brother Bill. Bill did that.
Yeah, and they took 1 week and it was done.
But you know what? That 1 week got a domino effect though. That's a domino effect.
Or did they put a stop on all of it? 1990. I was like, wow, y'all go over and y'all just go in and wipe stuff out and come back in a month. I knew guys that went over there.
Yeah, but you don't think some people that got their people killed wasn't mad about that? Why you said it happened in the 90s? Well, guess what else happened in the 90s? They tried to blow up the World Trade Center.
Desert Storm happened in 1990.
And then when did they try to blow up the Trade Center? What year was that? It was like 91, 92. It was the early 90s. As a result of that.
No, they believe me. People all over the world have already had their dislikes for America. It didn't happen just because.
Steve, yes, it was. If you say you remembered it, if we went to Desert Storm in the 90s and the World Trade Center was attacked in the 90s, why is it that you can't correlate those two?
No. Because you weren't even born when all the rest of them was happening. You weren't born when
I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 86.
Like I said, you weren't born when Iraq stole the hostages from the embassy, and there was I think it was a year they stayed as hostages, and Jimmy Carter was president, and then Reagan did his little finagling where he took the drug money to buy the weapons to give to he took the drug money from the Contras to buy the weapons from the Soviets to sell it to the Iraqis so they can get the Americans back. Now, you tell me what kind of backdoor stuff is that from a Republican? What else can we have?
I mean, listen, we could play the blame game, but if we're gonna talk about today, who's the sitting president today? Biden, and he got us in war today.
But I noticed when we talk Democrat, Republicans never like you to talk about their past, but they want to talk about every Democrat all the way back to George Washington when he was a Democratic Whig Party man or whatever, But I get it, they're really. It used to be a time Republicans was a party, the fiscal agent party. Well, that went out the door because they piss away more money than anything. And as soon as they get a hold to it, you go, where did that money go? They're supposed to make sure that the country is shored up. They don't care about that. It's all hustle.
Trump was in Austin, right?
I don't think he liked coming to Illinois since they about to whoop his tail up.
Great. Wasn't he in Austin?
That's what I was told. But you know, I never talked to that person that told me. I never
Trump was in. He was in the Austin community talking to black folks. My president.
I don't know why.
He love us.
Well, he only likes the people that he thinks correlate. This idiot says the blacks love me because you know why? I'm being discriminated against. I'm like, this dude,
Yeah.
So look.
So you ain't never been discriminated against?
I have.
By him.
On the flip side, though, how I feel though about Biden showing up to that black man house eating chicken with him and his family, though.
Who cooked the
Come
chicken?
on.
A little restaurant.
He brought some chicken?
Yeah, you ain't see that?
No.
Yeah, he went to the South or North Carolina, one of the Carolinas.
Oh, they eat chicken down south.
Yeah, but
You gonna eat some chicken
Yeah,
down
come
south.
on, nah, Steve. Come on,
Come
Steve.
on.
Nah.
The worst trope for black people. You're gonna put that on television though? The worst trope?
Man,
Chicken
look,
and watermelon.
I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what anybody say. White people eat more chicken and watermelon than anybody. So don't sit there and try to make that some shame game. You got to get that out your head.
Well, no,
Right, it's a black stereotype, though.
I think the issue though is how we would perceive these things. Biden, yeah, it's cool because we eat chicken. If Trump would have been doing, look at him. He's trying to placate the black folks.
No,
He's trying, you know,
I wouldn't say that because he a grease monkey anyway. He eats burgers. The dude invited the championship basketball team to the White House and had, we got plenty of waffles on the table. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? We got
But that's an American. That's what Americans eat. They feed us that at work too.
That ain't never been the protocol of the president to go and get some White Castle burgers and serve them to the Super Bowl champions or the NBA champions.
Yeah, no,
That's a little stupid there,
that
man.
was a fool.
Because he likes it. I mean, he liked it. I guess that's what he thought was good enough.
And they were slamming that. They were slamming it too. Them people had about 5 burgers apiece. Them some big boys, Steve. You gotta get them big boys back.
I just think the minute he said the blacks love me because I'm being discriminated against too. As a billionaire, I'm just like them. And every black person out there fell for that bullshit. Because
It's
the ones that sat there and said, he is like me. He's like me. You got a man that dude to cut your throat and everything else the minute he can. He already showed it. He's playing on every little emotion that you got, which obviously is a lot of because you love him. You, Kanye, and P-Ray. I love his dirty, fat, dirty orange draws. I don't understand it. I mean, let's be realistic here. Let's be totally realistic here. You, Kanye, and P-Ray. If we could sit here and say Biden got a lot of problems and Trump got a lot of problems, why we need either one of them? Let's come to that. Can we say that?
Well, I've been saying this is the worst election in my vote.
Oh, see, he ain't gonna say that. He can't say that.
No, hold on. No, because Trump is draining the swamp. He's not a career politician. That's why I like him. And he's a businessman.
He's done enough in his short career to be a part of the goddamn lagoon. He did more bullshit than any president ever done in 4 years. More garbage. When the last time you see the president in court every week? For rape, for conspiracy, for discrimination, for embezzlement, for crimes against the state.
That's what Democrats do. Democrats lock people up.
Democrats?
Yeah, Biden did it.
That's the Supreme Court that's chosen by the Republicans. That's the highest court in the land, ain't it?
You said what?
I said you got a Supreme Court that's brought in by Republicans. That's the highest court in the land. So my point is, why we even worry about it? If they're gonna look out for whoever gets in trouble anyway. the man already told everybody, hey, if I get in, I'm gonna make sure I get you out. Just go ahead and lie for me. He told somebody, who was that? The other day, the lady was in the courtroom, and he made a comment towards it like, the lady said, well, I'm going to jail, you know, and I guess this is what it is. He's in there, he goes, well, you know, I'm with you though. Don't worry. Gives her the wink, like if I get in, I'm gonna make sure I can bail you out. I'm gonna pardon you. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's what politics really about. Politics.
Yeah,
is about
politics is about favor. If you cool with a politician, and I don't care who you is, if you got a connection with a politician, you doing him a favor or she, and vice versa. You ain't nobody just chilling with a politician for no reason. So yeah, if Trump told me, hey Mosaic, man, all right, I got you. I got a little favor for you.
We gotta get our bags together and go back up some politicians. Man.
No,
that's what we need to do.
You just
not giving free reign. Let's go buy our politicians.
No. Look at what I just asked. When I put that question on the table, and I knew a Republican would never go for it. If I said Trump or Biden ain't the one, would you say yeah? And he was the first one to say, I guarantee if I asked Kanye that, he was, no, not my daddy. My daddy, this man called that man his daddy. I
ain't going that far.
Well, you need to go get your boy, man. Get your boy.
Yeah, I ain't going that far.
I
like Trump, but I ain't buying his shoes. I ain't calling him my Donnie. I ain't doing none of that.
Yo, Fat Joe, not Fat Joe, what's his name?
Kanye.
Fat Joe went and bought the shoes and went out there and told everybody.
I mean, yeah, Fat Joe.
That's right. Why you need to tell somebody? Well,
I ain't doing all that.
I'm a shoe connoisseur. Okay, collect the shoes. We didn't need to know that you was a collector. Why do we need to know that?
Yeah, for real though.
Come on, bro. You just wanted some sensational
free advertising.
Right. You want to sensationalize. I'm with, if I could get some advertising to pull towards the craziness, people will look at me. They'll say something. Man, all this is craziness, man. Now the other part is people riding on. Let's start on Puffy, P Diddy.
No, he did it. Whatever they say he did that.
They riding on him.
P Diddy been a devil since he got into the music.
But everybody buying Ciroc.
He did that.
I guarantee you go buy some Ciroc today.
They got rid of him. Diddy lost almost nearly all his endorsements.
Yeah. He don't got those endorsements. Or he not going to revolt.
Until you go buy a record that he produced.
And I don't know about that.
I don't think nobody buy P Diddy records in 2024.
God said that he produced. Doesn't he produce also?
I mean, it's been he still produced, but it's cooked.
Yeah, but he ain't produced nothing that anybody listening to really today. Like Puff Daddy produced this. Like, nah, he been done.
Yeah.
He got Biggie money. He got old money. That's why he do deals and brand deals and stuff like that.
That's how he was surviving. It was a brand deal. That's what it was. Just having his name alone was the brand, but it's tarnished, forever tarnished. Because this guy's a devil, man. No, this whatever they say he did that. He did. Yeah, he did.
So you saying he and R. Kelly should be in the same locker room?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
no,
look,
let Kels go. Kels did his time. Let him come back out.
It's an open secret in the industry that even that Diddy is just a heinous guy. Once this what's the girl Cassie? Once she opened the floodgate, everybody was like, you know what? I'm emboldened. Now I want to tell my story. It ain't no different than when Terry Crews went out there and told that his agent tried to grope him. When he did that, he got all that backlash that you ain't gonna be in no movies, woo. And as soon as he did it, opened up the floodgate. And Weinstein going down. This guy going down. That guy going down. Man, that Hollywood, boy, the people get a little money, it get real different over there. Nah, he did it.
It ain't no different than Trump and PP Gate when he was over in Russia paying whores to pee on him.
Oh man, I mean I don't know, man. What a man like. I mean I don't know. You know.
Did he like what he liked? But Diddy ain't running for president. Diddy ain't running for president.
Diddy, come on, we can't. Diddy, man, Diddy was like with the girl, so Cassie, like I said, she broke it open. She was saying how he would force her to have sex with other men in front of him, or very controlling, like manipulative. Like when you speak about whatever they were saying, R. Kelly was doing what was written up in that document that he paid her to keep out of court. She asked for $50 million. He got that out the way quick. 1 day later, yeah, I'm gonna go on and pay that fee. So no, and then everything.
It ain't no different than what Trump doing.
I mean,
hey. The dude, he already told it. He on the freaky deaky side. He already told everybody. He done got caught. He taking it. You gotta grab him by the snatch case. You gotta do it. I mean, you telling this dude, you telling, matter of fact, the guy he said it to was George Bush's nephew. Billy Bush from the Entertainment Tonight. He related to the Bush. And the guy was like, man, you on a hot mic, man. You talking, calm that craziness down. But he can't tell him calm the craziness down.
No, he didn't know he was on the mic. And then, come on, what man don't talk? Like, what man don't have locker room talk with their homies? What man? I don't know not one man who don't got locker room talk.
But on the same note,
and if you don't talk like that, we can't be cool because you suspect.
Well, I think
you are suspect if you don't talk like that. I'm like, wait, you don't do this? Oh yeah, you got to go, brother.
You're supposed to be held at a higher calling, and you're doing that. There's something wrong.
I'm an American. I'm a wild boy. No.
Well, I like to think better of my president. That's all I'm saying. I like to think that he ain't doing the stuff that you do. I know.
No, he not. Well, you got to look at it. Only because somebody take high office doesn't make them more moral than you. That I don't know why people think that someone has more morality because they are a president. That don't make sense.
I would like to think that they have some morals. I would like to think they wouldn't treat your sister or your mother or your aunt or your other woman.
Yeah, I don't think like that. Yeah, I don't think like that. I'm more realistic. I think they dig in their nose and they scratch their butt when they get home from a long day of work, just like me. I don't think they're no different from any of us. Everybody wipe in between their toes and smell their hands. Everybody.
So you tell me it's okay for you to say, I don't mind raping your daughter, Steve. I don't mind raping your sister, Steve. I don't mind raping your auntie or mother. You said
I don't think he ever did that. I don't think he did that.
He did rape him. He got convicted.
Nah, if he would got convicted, he would have went to jail. He settled out because the woman was lying on him. He settled. Okay. Everybody know that. You know how many black men get lied on? Men in this country get lied on by women all the time that they did that to them.
To a black man. Donald Trump, one thing he ain't gonna never be. And he ain't gonna never ever want you to put that on him on his
he close. He close to a black man.
No, he's not. Don't you put that on him. You gonna make him sick. He gonna want to kick his own stuff out of his own house. Like he did the black people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, brother. I don't know where you getting all your info, but it's already out there.
Real quick. All right, look. So we had that question earlier, and I was trying to fill folks in on the Bring Chicago Home piece, but I see Dr. O and Mary Gardner both tapped in. So I know both of them work very strongly with the coalition. So we had a question earlier. Either one of you just like to chime in on it and fill folks in on what's going on with the Bring Chicago Home initiative. But the question was, does anyone know where things stand with the Bring Chicago Home initiative? And do you support it? And is it an effective approach to homelessness? Can either one of you come off mute if you're available to and talk a little bit about the Bring Chicago Home initiative and its approach to ending homelessness in Chicago?
I would I'm going to yield to Dr. O first, allow her to speak first because she's been in a tad bit longer than I have. So if she's able to come off, then I'll come after her. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sweet. Thank you, beautiful. Well, the Bring Chicago Home right now, they are attempting, or they have said that it will remain on the ballot and they still want people to vote for it. They have filed legal documents to allow the outcomes of people's vote to be counted, but that has not been finalized. So they've told people to continue to advocate for the referendum that's on the ballot, which would provide an additional tax to properties that sell for over $1 million. However, so that is just to get to be sure that the votes that people cast in the election is counted. But once, say it does pass and they do count the votes and we get the referendum, right? We still would have to go back to actually fight for the monies to be allocated for real, specifically for homelessness in Chicago, and determine or delineate how the money is appropriated. So this is just right now is just one phase of the battle, and they're telling people to not bow out the battle, to keep fighting the battle. And your last question saying, is this the appropriate means to fight for homelessness? Yeah, there's supposed to be effective means to fight for homelessness in Chicago. So I'm a proponent to say that there's many ways to skin a cat. I do believe that there are multiple ways to fight for homelessness or any sort of housing justice in Chicago, which is direly needed, like rental, the inflation to the rental prices, that's going up. How do we get some type of legislation or something to say that there's protection for renters as well as homeowners? There's just a lot of things as far as housing, homelessness that's going on in Chicago and around Chicago. So I think there's a lot of ways, but right now this is the most prominent way. But I also think too, outside of Bring Chicago Home, that there are opportunities for communities to come together and solve issues with homelessness or housing, because what's happening is there's a crossover between the housing and the homelessness and what's going on with the migrant issue, and that is intense overlap and crossover that is impacting people's perception and perspective about the issue, as well as people's willingness to be involved. So that's my take, and that's my understanding. I welcome any feedback, comments, anything. Maybe even correct me if if I miss something or add something. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me just see if I can summarize this. So basically, all right. I mentioned back there.
Can I add before you summarize?
Yep, please, go ahead.
All right. So I just want to add to what Dr. O said. So this question that is on the ballot, that will be before, because the ballots have already been printed. So the question is not going to be removed. It is there when we go to vote, whenever you vote.
Right.
Early voting starts tomorrow in the communities. You'll have an opportunity to vote, right? So while it makes its way through the legal system, the votes will be, put to the side, like she said. And I believe we're going to be successful in that those votes will be counted. But what this is, bottom line is that this is an opportunity for every resident, voting resident in the city of Chicago to be heard on the matter, number one. This is our time to speak. That's all, that's where we are. What March 19th is about, our time to be heard, while the realtors and other folk are trying to sell us lies. That is just a vote to say yes or no from everybody that is in the city of Chicago that is a registered voter, period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we say yes, we want this matter to move forward, like she said, then DeAndre and Steve, it actually goes back to city council, but with an opportunity to create a community-led advisory board, which I think is pretty cool, because there are some people, it's an opportunity for people to be on that board to help oversee the process of, to make sure that the funding goes directly for what we are all advocating for, those of us that support it. And that is that it goes towards folks, residents that are homeless, but also that need wraparound services like mental health services, like services that help you maintain your home or your apartment. I mean, because so many people struggle with different issues. So that's what the community-led advisory board is going to ensure. So it goes back to city council, and then then they would establish how the board, the community-led board, is made up, and then it kind of moves from that point. But right now, what we're advocating for is that the residents of the city of Chicago be heard on that matter, on the question on March 19th. And, you know, I'm going to say this here, that my sister was homeless in 1993. And I know, you know, we know Streetwise and that whole group was out there, you know, trying to employ, making sure homeless people had some form of employment, which I think is pretty cool, because that magazine did generate income and stuff. But here we are, still wrestling with the issue of homelessness. So the past 3-4 administrations didn't give a crap about homelessness, and they ain't, you know, resolved the issue. At least this gives us some daylight. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for letting me kind of weigh in on it.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. So let me see if I can do this justice. So basically, both. We had the referendum on the ballot for March 19th, but then a collaboration of property owners, if you will, came and they decided to take it in front of the courts, and the courts decided that this particular referendum would be voided. But because it was already printed before the election process started, or when the election process started, it is still on there. And folks can still vote for it, and when restored, you know, the goal hopefully being through the courts process that it is restored, then all of those votes would count toward this particular referendum going to the city council, so that then we could create a community-oriented task force to decide where the money's collected from the ordinance itself, or the newly created established tax, would then go. Right? Did I say it right? I think I said it right. I feel like I did. Somebody? Anybody? Anybody? I feel like I said it right.
I gave you a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay. All right, so thank you. Hopefully, Sam, if you're still listening, I don't know if you're still on. Hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully, I didn't flub it up too much, but and yeah. So I think that does answer everything. Okay, cool. All right.
What I want to ask is, for those of us that are in here that are landlords, how do we feel? Anybody?
I'm not a landlord, but I would like to know how y'all feel for sure.
Where y'all at? Landlords?
Landlord.
Ain't nobody a landlord.
But I mean,
I'm not a landlord, but I will say this: we just need overall to do something.
Property?
but if you wanted to sell it to somebody, though.
Yeah, but eventually somebody might. That's the landlord's option. They don't want to do this probably all the.
Well, that's true. And then I was just looking at property over in the 60622, where my family stays, and they got $1 million properties over there. So, so here's one of my things that I look at this as. So I look at this as a needed thing to address the homelessness issue, but then I also look at the housing prices in a place like Alton. They already have $550,000 buildings,
Exactly.
right? And that's right now. And I'm like, okay, 10 years from now, because so I look at Alton, boom, we 550 already and climbing.
Mm-hmm.
You go east of us to Garfield Park, and they got $750,000 buildings. And that's right now.
There's a place on Monticello and Augusta, a newly built home. They went for $750 a home.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the one thing that I'm looking at this. I'm like, so I'm putting this out in the air for those that will be interested in sitting on this community. How do you consider housing prices right now? Hopefully, it goes down. Some people speculate that this housing market can't last the way that it is currently because it is just much too high for people to afford. But if it does keep growing at the rate that it's growing within the next 5 to maybe 10 years, probably less than 10, everything might be $1 million. So, like, what?
Yeah, but why you think they made the bill? Them people looked at the market before they made this bill. This is a communist socialist. Policy they implementing, and they want people to. Then you don't even know where the money is going. You don't know if the money is going to really help these people. Like, are you putting where do you put in a homeless? Where do you put a homeless person? Like, how do you keep them not reliant on the government and people that are law-abiding citizens? Like I'm just confused. Like, are you going to give them food? Like
Let's
what is
that? Let's take this back. What is considered homeless? Because you got a lot of people.
That's what I was gonna ask. How does the bill define homeless?
I had a question though.
Yeah, I think that's all. The question on the table is how is homelessness defined? But Dr. O, you want to go?
Yeah. What's interesting is that sometimes the biggest people that use money from the government are corporations, businesses, other people, and they're not the people that is scandalized or for trying to get help from the government. Big businesses, big institutions, a whole bunch of other people get a whole lot of money from the government that never ever hits the media. There's no propaganda about it. There's no scandalizing about it. And we can't even say that they serve the public. They just get it. So when people...
Which companies get money from the government?
There's a lot of big companies that get a lot of money from the government.
Which one?
All of them.
Most of them do. Most of them.
Talking to black people is hard. Which company?
Hold on, sir. Why are you interrupting me?
Hold on, I got
you. Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? I ain't talking about your people. I'm saying was a fact. That's a fact. It's tons of statistics. Just hold on, sweetheart, and let me finish my statement. There's tons of statistics. I ain't scraping no statistics for this, and that's real talk. But I'm saying to you and to everybody on this call, this is not for contention. This is not a personal attack. It is that the fact of the matter is that big corporations, a lot of corporations get federal subsidies, federal monies to subsidize, just like during COVID. Most of the COVID money went to big companies, went to cities and states that people in our communities never really saw. We saw what, $1,500?
No,
Maybe
a
once
lot of us
or twice. So is the fact is, as I'm saying, that there's a lot of what do we call it? Corporate welfare given to corporations and people and big business and big politicians. And when the people who live here, serve here, and help build this country need it or want it, it's hard to get it, and they're vandalized or criticized for it. That was my only point. And at some point, we have to, at some point, begin to figure out how the country stopped serving the people that it was built for and just started serving everything else. That's my only point. I don't need to contend with you. Your perspective and your point is valid for you.
Which company?
So I have two companies or businesses or whatever. So, and it's just recently in the news. Jerry Reinsdorf went to the state to get money to build the new Sox Park, right? But taxpayers still paying for the old Sox Park, as well as the Bears, when they put the little dome, well, not the dome, but when they renovated Soldier Field, taxpayers still paying for that too. So that's just two examples recently.
Look, I'm gonna give you two on a larger scale. In 2008, George Bush gave $700 billion to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, the housing market, because they were writing subprime loans in their bubble burst. The auto industry got an $81 billion bailout during that time. And then we also had the financial industry get a bailout in 2008.
Absolutely.
So big, like we've given a shit ton of money out to these businesses that have wreaked havoc on our tax money, because shit, they were doing bad deals. And that's the problem.
Well, it's not a problem if you're going to the dealership and still buying cars from the dealership. It's not a problem if you're still going to the Sox stadium and you still buying tickets and they're bringing it. It's not a problem then. It's only a problem when you don't put your dollars in there. But people are still going to the dealership. So obviously it's not a problem.
That makes absolutely no sense. Our taxpaying dollars are paying for, sir.
Queen.
Point of order. Point of order, man. What's your point?
DeAndre, could you please use your mute button so that everybody's got a chance to talk?
I got you. Point of order. All right, so I think
Barry, this is not your show. Calm down, Barry. This is
what I said was, big business has been bailed out. And our federal government, in addition to these bailouts to big business, as Mosaic was stating earlier, they have also sent a large amount of money to other countries. And we have so many issues that we are facing here on the home front that it makes you, it maddens you, to sit and have to deal with these issues when the money clearly is there, because we keep giving it away. And then it's like we got to create a new tax to deal with the issues that were created by people that were supposed to be the leaders of us. So I think that's an issue. That's a big issue.
Well, let me chime in. I remember when they built the new Comiskey Park. I remember when they built the new Soldier Field. And I said, why are they taking state money? They said the state has a I don't know if they have a right. Obviously they have a right, but they don't have a responsibility Why do they have the responsibility of doing that? Because what's happened now is they got their hands out again, and all they're doing is kicking the can, kicking the can, kicking the can. When do they not want more? Maybe when they might want another stadium in another 20, 30 years. And we haven't paid for the last two. I think they should pay for their own at this point. Who cares? Who cares if they stop watching baseball? Who cares if they stop watching football? I don't. I can still live without it.
Can I? I agree with that, but I think what's before us in a couple of weeks is the question about how do we help our sisters and brothers that are couch surfing, that are doubling up, that are homeless. And you don't have to listen to me. We have people that have lived experience that are out there publicly speaking. I had the pleasure, the honor of meeting a woman, a Black woman by the name of Electa, Electa, formerly unhoused mother, who is a mad advocate for getting folks off the street. I mean, it was just an honor to be in her presence. And she has a story to tell. Don't listen to me, don't listen to Dr. O. But there are people out there that have been through this that know what the potential holds on March 19th. All we have to do is give it an opportunity. So I said all of that to say, I understand you all are talking about, those big corporations and big rich billionaires that's trying to come back and ask us for some money. But I just want to say, keep in mind that there is this matter is on the ballot, and we all have an opportunity to weigh in on this matter for a number of people that are out here door knocking every weekend and every day to just inform people of what this is all about, because there's so much disinformation out there and basically lies that are out there about what this real estate transfer tax is about. And those $750 cribs won't be affected. $500 cribs won't be affected. It is just $1 million and up. Those are the ones that are going to have to pay their price. We'll see the increase in the transfer tax. I wish I owned something, and I got a couple of pieces. I wish I owned something that was appraised at $1 million or more. My chest would be so big, but I don't. And most of us don't. We cool with being around 350, 500, or even 650 if we're lucky. So that matter is before us. The whole Jerry Reinsdorf thing is, that's, like you said, Steve, that's a can down the road and stuff. But right now, I just want to just remind us that this matter is before us on March 19th. Thank you.
Yeah, and the last point I think we sometimes overlook that it is a one-time tax, and that is only it's not something that'll reoccur. It's just only one-time tax, and it again, what she said is for properties over $1 million.
Yeah, single property, not multiple properties that add up to $1 million.
You know what? I think this is a good point to go back and ask, what is homelessness defined as? I know Mary brought up, couch surfing and doubling up and, things like that. But what exactly is homelessness defined as?
Anybody.
Well, the terminology that I've heard is exactly what she's saying. Couch surfing, doubling up, having unstable housing situation. So for currently, if you are able to live with a relative, technically is they may or may not consider you homeless depending on the situation. But for real, if you're living in someone else's home and it is not an amicable situation, you are really technically homeless. So for young kids that are in school, grade school, or underage, couch surfing and living with friends and relatives, that's technically homeless. But that, depending on the situation, they may or may not categorize it as such. So I think that it depends on the situation, how they define it. But if you do not have secure, stable housing, you're defined as technically homeless. That's technical. But then they will take it case by case. And
Are the migrants and the immigrants and the illegals, are they considered homeless?
Yeah.
100%, Steve. And
Yep.
that's what's gonna get that 1 million
No,
first.
but they're not part of this. So that's two different issues.
No, they are part of this.
That's what the white man wants y'all to do. He want us to bring in the migrants and all of that. I'm talking about, look, people like my sister, who's in the 90s, was homeless, and I got the Chicago Defender paper. The Daley administration didn't do shit for them. Rahm Emanuel, they didn't do nothing about homelessness. So let's not be confused with another group of folk here, because it's not fair. It's not fair. Let's deal with facts. That's all I'm gonna say. I know it's very easy to lump that group in here that was brought here under false pretense, that was shipped here under false pretense. But they are not who we're talking about. But they don't deserve to be out in the cold either. I mean, hell, if I could house all of them, I would. Because that's the way I was brought up. That's what it's about. It ain't about how well you can speak on a subject matter. Come on. It's about how human are you? Okay, I'm done. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I think homelessness is defined. Hold on, wait a minute, Barry. Go ahead, Barry.
But Jake, I've heard you a lot of minutes on this show, and there are a lot of people. I'd like to hear what other people's point of view is.
Yeah, so I think listen, from a person who used to be homeless before, I used to be homeless, guys. Homelessness is when you can see the sun, and then you see the moon, and you see when you can see it. Did y'all went out? Oh yeah, y'all went out.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's what I think homelessness is. I used to be homeless, and I was able to tell what time it was by the position of the sun. That's homelessness, when you have no place to go. Because when you try to go to a shelter, you got to tell them, you can't tell them you've been living at other people's places. You got to tell them you've been outside, or they will not put you inside of a shelter. You understand me? So you have to tell them you've been actually outside. And a lot of these migrants, they're outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm a delivery driver. I see these migrants day in and day out outside. So, you got to understand, 7 million immigrants have came to this country. They're going to get first dibs. They're not going to house the homelessness on Lake and Laramie. They're not going to get those homeless people on Lake and Laramie, on Chicago Avenue and Central, or Chicago Avenue and North Avenue. They're not going to get those people. You could disagree all you want, Stephanie. I'm from the West Side. I know what I'm talking about. But again, the migrants are going to get these, and that's why they're bringing them in. So you guys got to be careful on what you're asking for, because Black people will not be the recipients of this bill. I promise you that. They will not be the recipients of this bill.
Y'all should not allow people to tell lies Please, let's talk
You
about
just been
facts.
you've been lying. You
Please. No, I'm DeAndre and Steve. Now listen, let's respect this podcast and let's talk about factual stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'm addressing the host.
I helped
Period.
start the podcast, baby.
Well, he just giving his opinion.
And I'm not his baby. Tell him I'm not his
Thank you,
baby either. Please. Let's be respectful.
Let's play it talk.
No, you're not a player.
Hey, so can I say something? And this is, I guess, this in defense of Monk. So that was something I thought about as far as like migrants benefiting from the bill more than like the people that's been here that's homeless. And the only reason I say this is because a couple of months ago or whatever, when they first started talking about it, they kind of conflated the migrants and homelessness. So they would put it together and not necessarily talk. And when I say they, I'm talking about in the media. They wouldn't talk about it as two separate issues. They would talk about it as one issue and just talk about homeless, when really it's homeless that's been here and migrants that's homeless. Well, that's coming here and that's homeless. So, well, with that being said, I think he may have a point in what he's saying. That's all. And that's why I asked, like, how do they define homeless, or how are they what are the qualifications to get to benefit from this bill? Hello?
Yeah, I think they trying to get things fixed. I think they muted on their side. I don't even think, because I can't hear none of them, and all their mics is muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all their mics is muted.
Hello?
Yeah, we
There
hear
you
you.
go. We hear you.
Okay. Nah, the iPad went out. I was typing in the chat the whole time. I guess nobody like
I ain't see nothing, bro.
messages in there. Oh my God. So no, I was saying, what I was saying was to the point, like, how would the community coalition that's gonna write the bill ensure that the folk that are native receive the services? Because that is part of the trepidation for a lot of folks. And I think, with the, like you said, the conflating of the two issues, like how can people be certain that the people that need these resources actually get them?
Yeah.
So from what I understand, so the first thing that's up is that it is on the ballot
Right.
to vote for it, to push it forward. Because if it let's say it doesn't get majority vote, so say it's on the ballot, right? And it doesn't get majority vote, that pushes just that whole pot. This is what I understand, and I could be wrong. That pushes that kind of out of the options. So I think that the process is on the ballot, vote for it, so then it can go to the next step of the defining and being sure it's appropriated. Because honestly, we've had this conversation in some of our meetings too,
right,
about, once it's voted for and it moves forward,
right,
how do you then ensure that? And I think the process is that vote for it so it can move forward, then make sure that we are ready and in place, which is another challenge we have in our communities. Once it goes forward, that we're ready and in place to be a part of that community committee to help make those decisions. So I think it's a step-by-step process. When initially, I believe when this all began some years ago, it was initially a effort to get funding just directly to homeless people, but it is since grown and evolved into this whole thing. So I think that that's what it is.
It's really sad too, because a month ago I ran into some homeless people. They were over at a World Vision, and they saw people getting goods and things out of World Vision.
and they went in there to get some assistance, but they didn't help them. So I helped them. I gave them like 20, 30 pair of socks. I'm like, here's some brand new socks. Take those. They were so happy. They said, but we really need a place to stay. It was a guy and a lady, a black guy and a black lady. And obviously it looked like they had some substance abuse problems over time, you know, for whatever reason. And they said, we were in a shelter, but in the shelter, the people are getting high. And they said, we are in recovery. And I said, well, you don't want to go back to that shelter. Don't do that. They said, well, where do we go? We need to go. I said, well, go over to the 15th District Police Department. They got migrants and homeless and migrants and illegals and whatever we call them, immigrants over there. And they got a bus that come and pick them up and take them to a safe and warm place to be. You go over there and you get on that bus too, because they cannot deny you if you're in the same situation. They got to do something to help. And they said, great.
I thought a woman did get denied, Steve. If I'm not mistaken. Didn't someone get denied who tried to wait in the bus because they wasn't a Spanish-speaking person?
Yeah, I think that was Howard Ray was saying that
Speak Spanish.
he was familiar with some folks that was waiting at the. I don't know, man. He basically said,
yeah.
He said it was a woman that was, waiting to get housed, and the bus was coming, but they were only picking up Spanish-speaking folks, and she didn't speak Spanish, and they left without her.
You gotta do is say, see.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They're gonna put them first, man. We gotta start thinking black first.
I don't think they're gonna put them first per se, but I also have to be real about, when it do come to a community coalition, you're gonna be talking about folks that want to make sure that everybody benefits equally. So there is going to be some inclusion of the migrant folks. So I don't think it's wrong to say that they won't be able to benefit from this as they should. And I think most folks don't want us to be creating some type of, how you call it, like separation between the two. Homelessness is homelessness. And we live in America, which is very rich, and people feel like there should be the ability to take care of everyone, which is the reason why we got open borders. You know what I mean? So I just think we'd be foolhardy to believe that everybody won't be included when that conversation happens.
Gotta do something. That's all I can say. We gotta do something. If we don't do something quick, we're gonna be in a bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, we already in a bad situation. Hold on.
Very bad. Black people, just come together. Please, black people, just come together. I think y'all went mute again. Yep, they went mute again. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's happening today.
Yo.
So the vote is yes then, right?
Yeah.
To bring Chicago home.
You have to be sure to read the ballot. Apologies that I don't have what the language is in front of me to say exactly what to select, because y'all know that sometimes the languages on the ballots can be a bit misleading maybe, but you just have to make sure you read it carefully, and you want to vote for it to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me be clear. The property has to appraise at $1 million or more, or the property has to be on the city books as what do they call it, Arnold? When your property value. Does it have to be the city property value or the appraised property value?
No, it's when you sell, it's a transfer tax. So when you sell a property for
What is
over
that?
a million, right, over
Yeah.
$1 million, yeah.
$1 million is one rate, 2 million,
Right,
3 million.
right.
Right, exactly, yep,
That's the
Yep.
problem with the way the law was, you know,
yeah,
the way it was presented on the ballot.
Yeah, it's a gradual increase.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be asking 3 different questions?
The way a referendum is
Oh.
controlled, that's why it was, according to the judge,
Mm.
ruled unconstitutional, because either you clear on whether you want to increase or decrease or no tax at all. That's the question when a referendum is put before the public.
wow.
Mm.
I can't,
So,
I can hear, I could barely hear him. What are you saying now?
well, the question has become, on the referendum, when it concerns a referendum in regard to this tax, the question should be to the public, as the judge outlined, the constitutionality of the questions to be asked of the public. Do you want to increase? Do you want to decrease? Or no tax at all? In this referendum, the way it's put together, it's kind of asking more than one question. So on
Yeah.
that merit, they ruled it as unconstitutional according
Yeah.
to the law. So
Yeah, yeah,
now that's why he ruled, and they have to go back to
Yep.
the state legislature to get some, you know,
yeah, yeah,
back and ask the question: do you want to increase? Do you want to decrease it? Or no tax at all? The amount to whether it's 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million.
Yeah.
And whatever different rate of tax. So that's the question. I mean, that's the concern, the way this referendum is drawn.
I want to see it. I think one of the things for me, I'm a little apprehensive. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I was with you. I was just about to say what you were saying. Is that the way it's worded on the ballot, though?
Yeah.
That's what I don't have in front of me is how it's worded on the ballot. That's I think I was going to ask that question too.
No, I was going to say my apprehension is that in creating a new tax, right? And obviously I'm not affording $1 million bill yet, so it wouldn't affect me at the moment. But in creating a new tax, we've always said that whether it was marijuana, whether it was gambling, whether it was the lottery, whether it was this one or that one, and all of these other damn taxes that we got, they were going to be used to help our community, South and West Sides in particular. They always throwing us out there to be the platform by which these things pass. And it just has not served us yet, because our community still looks the way they look. So it'd be so hard for me to be wanting to get behind these things in a lot of cases, because I look at the history and I'm like, y'all keep selling us these dreams and this ain't happening.
Well, the reason our community look the way, because everybody in our community can't afford to live here. They can't. Most people in our community don't even work. So how you gonna keep something up? How you gonna afford something?
Oh, man.
Go to communities where people work. You'll see different things.
Okay, so to me, then that becomes the issue then. Why are we bringing industries here that could actually provide us with living wage jobs so we can afford these bills?
Because black people ain't gonna get the jobs. What's the point? I'm just telling you.
No, I disagree.
No, they ain't gonna get
So
the
one
jobs.
of the things that people have been fighting for the longest is community benefits agreements. If we don't get something like that in place, you bring industry here, you say 50% of the workforce has to come from inside the community, and half the board got to come from inside the community, then maybe you can get what you need in terms of being able to get some folks some jobs.
We had to do all that to get people in hostels. And the people right around hostels were black people that could afford, that had people that afforded to have homes right there, but they still needed jobs for their kids and their cousins and whatever.
Right.
But you and I had to go into hostels with a slew of of others
Right.
to get black people in there because they didn't want to hire the black people. This ain't no more, I don't understand what people don't get. This ain't no more than the discrimination practices that's been going on since Jim Crow, since the 50s, 60s, whatever. And you can't keep blaming the plight of our communities on just the politicians. It's the private sector. The private sector do what they want to do with who they want to.
Well, no, you gotta take that back to the politicians then, because they're the ones, that's their fault.
They need to set the laws. But when they set the laws, what does the private sector do?
They buy them.
They do that, and they find loopholes, and they go around it.
I mean, well, you're supposed to do that though. I mean, I ain't against anybody finding loopholes. That's smart.
Yeah, but you know what, Steve, man, I swear, Steve, you just hit such a great point. I love that you said that, my brother, that you had to fight to get black people into Hostess. Because me, as a Austin resident, former resident, I worked at that Hostess. I worked there, and I seen how the Hispanic people. I love Hispanic people, Reba Dirty. But let me tell you something though. You know, I worked there, and they treat black people like crap. And it disgusts me to hear some of these black people on here fighting for the immigrants. You will never, ever in your life go to a space like this space here, which is a black space. Anyone who's not black is a guest, but you're welcome. But and you think they're gonna include a black person? They're never going to include you. I seen them. They cutting your hours and giving it to over here. They speaking in Spanish, making fun of you, making you go over here, lift the heavy stuff, always putting you by the real hot thing and taking their people off. And it's not white people that's discriminating in this private sector. They are Hispanics and they treat you like crap. This is a fact. So y'all need to stop caping for these immigrants because they don't care about you at all. They had a nice place, living in the sun, living next to a beach, and they came over here, and it's illegal to cross that border. It's a felony.
So let me ask you, what would you rather be, the person doing that to them?
Dr. Khalid Muhammad say, better them than us, because they're going to grow up and they're going to attack our babies too.
Hold on.
Hold
on.
Just like to bring to everyone's attention, we had a guest about a couple months ago that gave information as far as community development. We cannot develop our community off governmental assistance.
That's a fact.
Now, we can have all the discussion that
we can use governmental assistance, but they have to be firmer and stricter on the laws. Create the laws and the bills and practices to be tougher on these companies. I'm telling you.
I get that, but for any amount of percentage of neighbors living on the block, use my block for example. I had a property next door to me and a property across the street. That was for sale. Now, there are people living on the block who are receiving governmental assistance, but the reality of it is they will never be in a financial situation where they could purchase the property, whether it was next door to me or across the street.
Right.
So it's going to take a combination of a lot of factors to help develop the community. But if you have too much governmental assistance, I'm not going to say too much, and I'm just being complimentary about it. It's good to have it. At least it's there. But market rate is capitalistic society, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact. And credits going all other stuff they go along with it.
Maybe I'm dreaming, but I remember once upon a time when these corporations had these high-paying positions, that what they would do was hire a Black person to come in at the basic level, train them to hold these high paying position. And when they reach that certain point, they move them into the higher paying positions. Now, I remember that happening, but I can't verify it. But this is what I have seen happen. You know, you don't, just because someone is unqualified, you make them qualified. You train them and move them up that corporate ladder or that marketing ladder or whatever ladder it is. And that's
Well,
where they'll get these high paying positions.
let me tell you
So
this,
it's the
Donald Trump,
corporations.
let me tell you this, Donald Trump and the Republicans have made sure that we don't have any liberties and rights like that anymore. There's no such thing as affirmative action anymore. There's no such thing as you know, you can be black and need to get into college because they got 100 million white people in the college and you need to get at least one other black person in the college. That ain't happening. They ain't getting in. So
Steve, affirmative action was unconstitutional. It's illegal.
Well, it wasn't unconstitutional 100 years, 50 years ago.
Yeah, because they came to their senses. It's illegal to get someone into a college who is not qualified. If you ain't smart enough to know the use calculus to find slope, like
smart.
No.
Still getting their cronies in. They're still getting their own
It was
cronies.
never, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was never about not being smart enough. It was about having barriers to admissions because of the color of your skin. The original affirmative action was written based off the setbacks blacks, African Americans, people of African descent. They came out of slavery. It was written originally to try and help them reach a point of equity. It was originally legislation and laws were originally written for Black African Americans to eventually reach a point of equity economically, educationally, and socially. And
that went away
That's a
by
lie.
the wayside because
hold
the
on.
ones,
Yeah, she's right.
Can I say something? Cause you talking about me. You know, I went to Dartmouth and they said that I had to take the SAT test.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking the SAT test because I would fail it. The white boys passed it because they were prepared for that.
That's right.
I never took the SAT test, and I graduated from Dartmouth. And while I was at Dartmouth, we told the administration that we're not the only smart people in the ghetto, and if other people with opportunity, they could do like we did. And they set a program, and we had 15 guys coming to the program, and 7 guys graduated. They didn't take the SAT either, and they weren't given any special privileges. Black people are naturally smart. They don't just give us the opportunities. That's right.
Well, I would have threw you out the school because you didn't take the ACT test. And if you're so smart, why did you take the ACT test like the white man? See,
because the test,
wait a minute,
test is not culturally competent.
Stop, please. Listen,
before
if you want to show that you're smart, if you want to show that you're smart, you should have took the test on shoulder to shoulder with that white man. The white man still beat you because he was able to take the test and graduated. You got there because you were Black. Sister,
he was prepared for the
test. That's not true. It's not true. That is inaccurate, and it has no academic, no intellectual basis. The ACT, SAT, and most standardized tests are not generated or created by any African Americans at all. It's not created by agents. It's created by people with Western descent, whatever you want to call that. It is not culturally competent. It does not include anything that would make us equal. So if we wrote the SAT, and if we wrote the ACT, and if we wrote every other standardized test and had white people take it, they would fail it too. So that is
Put the
not,
kid on the test, bro.
is not what, so what he is saying is absolutely right. It is a barrier, and it has been proven to be a barrier by white people. So that is not a standard, and affirmative action was originally written to counter those barriers.
My
And what
brother
happened
passed
to
that white
affirmative
man
action?
test.
Well, what eventually happened to affirmative action?
My brother
is
passed
it
that white man
became,
test. Both of my
it
brothers passed that
became,
white man
and I
test.
did too.
Why do people take a SAT test?
Right.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah, I
I'm
know.
done.
In order to get into
multiple choice.
no,
Wait,
but
Well, you
why
know,
do they take it though?
when I went to high school, I did not go to a black high school. I went to a technical high school, Harrison Technical High School.
Me
And
too.
the way we studied, the way we studied for the ACT test was according to the white technical standards. I passed with a high score because I was not in a community school, the community I live school. Black schools are inferior. They're not going to teach you the same thing as these white schools because we get inferior teachers. We get people who are not really acclimated into this white way of learning. You know, and that's all I got to say. You know, there's a difference in school from 16th and Casey to whatever high epsilon school. There's a difference in teaching abilities, a difference in teaching trainings, and they're not teaching our kids at the same standard.
Let's just go as far as the equipment. We don't even have books or computers. I mean, they might have a few of them now, but they didn't have them when I was in school.
Man,
It was garbage.
See, at Harrison, I had everything. At Harrison, I had everything I needed. But then I go to, well, I won't say Farragut because I don't know that much about Farragut, but they didn't have the same equipment I had. I was taught algebra, geometry. I even had trig and chemistry in high school. Now, how many black high schools, teach a freshman, a sophomore, that type of?
All of them.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's a tale. That's not true.
We can have a test right here. Let's test each other's knowledge. Let's go.
So they're
I see young enough.
so just to go back to what Alan was saying, man, like people, the SAT don't really. Oh, just to go back to his point, if you can get into Dartmouth without taking the SAT, I'm pretty sure everybody on this call would do that. So really, he won. He came out on top, and he graduated. I'm assuming. I think he said he graduated. But if you could, okay, there you go. There you go. So if you can get to Dartmouth without taking the SAT, you really won that situation.
Yeah, it was a handout. You didn't have to take the SAT.
Hey, all that don't even matter. He got his diploma from Dartmouth. So
but he didn't take
all
the
the
SAT
white,
bro.
people that took the SAT and scored perfect scores and all that type of shit, they on the same level, man.
That's a fact. So it was, but affirmative action was dismantled. The question is, in the year of our Lord 2024, do we need affirmative action though?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Things change.
Yeah, yes, we do.
The white people go to better schools than the black people do.
Victim
My
mentality.
thing is,
It's just a fact that racism.
my thing is until it's real
that's
true
why we
equity. My thing is until it's really true equity, until I can do exactly what my counterparts do. When I can eat exactly what my counterparts eat, walk and live and learn and experience the exact same things that my counterparts do with the exact same challenges, exact same barriers, exact same access, exact same opportunities until that's realized for real. Absolutely. And that don't just go for me, that go for anybody who does not start on an equal or equitable playing field. You absolutely right. But right currently, we do not have those exact same privileges. No, this is not victim, baby. We overcomers, and we are I don't even like the word resilient because that puts that we supposed to continue to endure. No, if you didn't start the same, I didn't start. That's just like telling you to get in a race and you 10 blocks behind me. And I say you lose. No, baby, you started 10 blocks ahead. That's not equity. That's not you smarter. That's not you better. That's not I failed or I didn't compete. That means you had a 10 block advance that never changes until something else is done. One part of this, though, I do believe is that we as a people have a role in bringing ourselves to an equitable point. I do believe that. But I also know that there are in every facet of this society, everyone you can see in your face measurable obstacles and barriers that we have to face every day. That don't mean you don't stop, don't challenge, don't be excellent, because that's what we do and that's who we are. But until we really work towards equity, I think is much needed.
Yeah. I mean, I'd also go on the limb and say that part of, I don't think we'll ever get true equity, unless we get reparations. We need reparations for equity.
I agree
with that.
I agree.
But beyond that, though, when we get those reparations, if Black people don't figure out a way to have some type of unity, like legit togetherness, then you can forget about it. We'll never be on the same, because that's the open secret that the other groups have over ours. When they come, us versus them, we'd rather fight each other and or be co-opted by somebody else than help each other, and they'll never do that. You'll never have us co-op, have one of them co-op on behalf of us. Never. So that's the problem.
Never.
We can do equity, but until we come together, it don't mean anything.
I agree.
Yeah. Let me say this. I read in Black history about a guy who invented the corn seed planter. And he was an illiterate farmer who thought it should be a better way to plant corn seeds. And he developed a machine and got a patent on it to plant corn seeds. And he was illiterate, so he couldn't sign his name when he got his patent. He had to put an X. Okay, so we just have natural ability, I believe. We're just not given the opportunities. And Black History Month, a Black man invented the automatic transmission where you don't have to shift gears. Guy invented the stoplight. Guy invented the gas mask. Guy invented the elevator, the toilet. I mean, we
invented
everything.
We invented America.
A lot of things we did.
We invented everything, to be honest.
Right. Everything. And we did that with opposition. They gave us opposition all the way. Everything we did, they didn't believe it. They wouldn't give us credit for it.
I would say this, though. The reason why we invented was because of opposition. I think we've gotten too comfortable and we've allowed the dependency that was created by the parties to be able to infiltrate how we create. We are still, I would say, the most intellectual people, because of what we are capable of doing. But without that pressure that we used to have, we don't have the same. We're not creating the same.
It was said that we were the fastest learning people in the history of the world. The Emancipation Proclamation was in 1865. By the year 95 or 85? We had a literacy rate of almost zero in 1865 because no one could read or write. Mm-hmm. Within 10 years, I think it was less than 10 years, we had a 40% increase, which eventually went to almost 90% of the people had learned to read and write.
Yeah.
That happens to no one.
Well, you know what they say is the mother of invention? Necessity. The reason why Black people were creative and inventive is because we had to do it. The reason why we're not that same force today is because we have been pacified. That's why integration.
Yeah, it's about time, y'all. We getting up there.
Hate integration.
We 30 in.
Integration was one of the things that they realized on the back end that may have been a bigger detriment to our
Yes.
people. That's one thing, and also there is a strategy called learned helplessness that's been implemented upon us, and I would encourage people to look that up. And
you already know. You know that was a part of my dissertation. You know, when folks were sitting in the workshop, I was teaching them about learned helplessness so that I could teach them optimism on the other end.
Yes.
You know what?
But it's a powerful tool that is subversively implemented in every facet in work. If you know you're qualified and you continue to go for the same job as your counterparts, got the same credentials, same criteria, same everything, you're virtually equal. You're just different race or color, right? And if you do that over and over again, you start to believe that there's something wrong with you. Then after a little more time, you just stop trying. So think about that being implemented for decades and centuries until it actually has taken a stronghold in ourselves and our youth, which I think we are really at a brink of this thing too. And you not ever really realizing that this has happened to you or been overlaid to you or your people. You know, we talk about it in one-on-one basis and in relationships, but really it's happened on a mass scale too.
See, this is the exact reason why I brought psychological capital to the community. And this is the exact same reason that when I finish and get my degree, I'm going to be dedicating much of my time to create these workshops geared towards developing those capacities in folks. Because that's exactly what this was for. When I learned about it, I know exactly who needs this, the people. And I created my training with that purpose. But we already talked about Dr. Owens, so I already told you I'm looking to do my study on a larger scale and get that published so we can start to get some real traction behind getting this thing done. You know what I mean? So
I'm down with it.
Let me address this real quick and we're gonna wrap up. DeAndre, you always say you don't like integration. I hate to tell you.
Like integration.
I'm gonna tell you. Due to the fact that we've been colonized and imperialization has been all over the world, and Black women been raped since they've been brought to this country, you are already integrated. And to think that you ain't gonna, what is globalization? Globalization is integration with the whole world. We gotta get away from that, because if you just think you're gonna do what you're gonna do in your own little tribe on this little continent that we got, only thing the Indians got out of it was they ain't even got that. They ain't even got casinos. So
but the pushback for that
The Jewish
culture shows us that it can be done. Whether it's the Jewish folks, whether it's the Indian folks, whether it's the Spanish folks, whether it's the Italian folks, whether all of them show us that it can be done. The Black community, for example, just talking about money, right? The fact still remains that we the only ones our money stays in our community only 3 days, 72 hours. We Friday we go get us a drink and some Hennessy. Saturday we go shake ass at the club, and Sunday we go to church. Then our check gone. We're the only ones that do that. Nobody else does that. So I'm just saying, like, when we talking about, I understand this is a very global world, which is more of the reason why we need to be into international commerce. We need to figure out how we can get some sisters and brothers to set up in China and Japan so they can bring back some of that fashion for the low, so that we can start selling to our people over here. We need to go ahead and get back over there in Africa so we can figure out how to ship them some of this U.S. product. I got a girl right now from Nigeria, part of my cohort. Guess what she does? International commerce. She sends these products in America back to Nigeria and getting paid off of it. I'm just saying, the opportunity exists.
I'm just saying, when you say integration is not the way, I just don't know how you do any kind of commerce if you don't integrate people and have people have choices to go where they want to go and do what they want to do. I mean, who like your brother? He gonna love them white women. He want to integrate them. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I do love them though. I ain't gonna lie. I love all women, man.
That's gonna put a cramp in his style. How you gonna?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move around the room. We're gonna do this nice and quickly. Tiny.
Yeah, well, thanks for the opportunity to share. And I'm always happy to be around like-minded people. God bless everybody. And vote.
Yeah, March 19th. Clay? Dr. O?
Hey, just to say, don't
Yeah,
forget
I'm here.
you got your own, you got power. Don't give it away. Make sure you exercise it. Exercise your own personal power and vote March 19th.
March 19th. Clay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say everybody vote March 19th. That's all I want to say. That's what all matters.
Can you hear me?
Ms. Houston?
I might as well
very stimulating conversation.
All right, thank you. Venus, I think I heard you.
Yeah, I'm just connecting in, and I'm joining with the same phrase my husband said. Let's go.
Good. Kim? Mosaic?
Yeah, stay black, y'all. Keep black people first, man.
That's right.
Dr. Young?
Hey, great show tonight. You know, Monk, you get a bad rap, man, but you're not too bad, man. You all right.
Hey, man, I'm on the Malcolm X and Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I'm a little on the rough side of things, man. Thank you, brother.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. You know what, Steve and D, y'all should give Monk like 5 minutes to do his thing every show, but uninterrupted. You know, let's give him some time.
Oh, he take longer than 5 minutes. I don't be going in that. So
look, Raheem, I will give him more than 5 minutes if he promises to register the vote. Because the man ain't never ever registered the vote, but he got the longest.
I'm registered.
No, great show tonight, you guys. Y'all have a good rest of your week. And yeah.
Arnold, appreciate you, Dr. Raheem. Arnold.
Well, I just want to invite the callers out there this Friday evening. We're having a fundraiser honoring none other than our Congressman Danny K. Davis. Oh, we're going to drop this stuff off tomorrow. March 8th from 6 to 11 p.m. There will be refreshments, live entertainment and music. And like I say, please come. You can make a donation to support this fundraising event at the door. We're not any demand. And certainly just invite you out. Of course, we got to participate in a tremendous turnout. There'll be parking on the church parking lot for those who drive. So just come out as we honor our Congressman Danny K. Davis. We hear from him and just thank him. And information, again, I can leave my phone number. You can call me at 773-367-7324. 773-367-7324. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
There you go, Mosaic. You be the real collab Congressman.
Steve, we're gonna drop water and pop off to you tomorrow. Steve, we're gonna drop water and soda off tomorrow for the event Friday. Oh yeah. So,
Give them to Arnold.
what, I tell you
I
what,
don't know.
call me, you can bring it by and I'll put it in my house.
Oh, okay, okay, all right,
Work it in. Okay,
All right.
thank you, Clay.
No problem.
See, hey, we started out saying we the people, and it sounds like people be we. And in other words, we all over the place, y'all. But we gonna get it together. I honestly believe we will get it together. We got a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, and I think it takes all of that so we can come up with the right, mixture of what we need to have to happen. But
Yeah. Well, we still didn't talk about the police in the public schools. So maybe we can do it next week.
We'll definitely get on that, because we were on that 4 years ago, weren't we?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ask. I'll see Dwayne Trust, who was kind of leading that charge. He's former Board of Education. If he want to come on and talk more about that.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. He should want to do it. Yeah. They were in him all day trying to get in him on that.
Keep him out.
But
yeah, keep him in. I'm sorry, you're right. As for me, man, I'm happy. Tonight when I go home, I'll be turning in my final draft of my dissertation, and hopefully within the next few weeks, I will be defending my proposal. Yeah, finally.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Man, thank you.
Congrats. Hey, make sure you send that defense notice so we can join you in your moment, okay?
Got you. That is my baby's golden birthday tomorrow. She was born on the 4th, and tomorrow she will turn 4. So, I feel good and blessed.
Happy birthday.
Make both of those things happen, man. So that's all I have, man. Stay joyous. I was telling my brother today about we was talking about like praying and things like that, and blessings and good vibes, and I was just telling him that when we think positively, it radiates throughout our lives in general, and that's what people pray for. That's what blessings are for, and that's just what good vibes is for. So stay positive, amongst all of these other things that's going on. Just stay positive. Anyway, listen, we do this thing from 6 to 8 on every Sunday. We got multiple ways that you can interact with the show. We got the Facebook, the YouTube, or the Zoom. It's your option to however you want to talk to us. You do so. If you're in the Zoom, you writing the show, you can just come off mute, let us know how you feeling. If you're on the YouTube or the Facebook, you type it in and we can bring it up and we can have that discussion like we did in terms of bringing Chicago home. By the way, make sure you support it if you support it. It's all about getting the bag, and then we're going to figure out what to do on the back end. But everybody going to be included. Make no mistake about that. That said, share the show. Always share the show, man. Bring more people to get on so we can have more robust conversations and get different opinions. You know what I mean? Because that's always good in terms of the work that we do. And like I like to say in closing, man, listen, we got open seats at the table. We just trying to welcome y'all on home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Y'all have a good night.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
All right.
Bye.
God bless everybody.
All right. Chicago, now having to go back to